What's up, guys? My name is Gabe, and welcome back to the Trojan Blade. Welcome back to a brand new video. This is the Georgia Southern game preview. Now, I know that in terms of the on-the-field product, this isn't the most exciting team. So the fact that you're here watching this, just know that I greatly appreciate you. A lot of work and research goes into these previews, and especially when it's not the most interesting team and it's early in the season and there's only one game of film to go off of, it's definitely not the most fun part of my job. But thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate it. Now, before we do get into it, if you guys are enjoying the videos, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And before we go any further, I do want to thank today's video sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by Underdog, your one-stop shop for daily fantasy sports. I've already had a ton of fun making my picks over there, and now you can come over and join me. Head over to underdogfantasy.com or just download the app. The link is in the description. And all you have to do is play $5 and you'll get $50 in bonus funds when you sign up with my code BLADE. So yeah, head over there, support me, support Underdog, and have an amazing time playing this year. So thank you so much, Underdog, for sponsoring the video. Now let's get into the preview. All right, so as always, let's start off with the Meet the Coach segment. And it's a man that needs no introduction. It's former USC head man Clay Helton. Now, there's been a lot of discussion about Clay Helton this week. How should the fans react? Should you boo? Should you cheer? I've talked about that on Twitter. I talked about that in a few videos. Talked about that in the podcast with Tim. So I'm not going to go over that here. And I certainly don't need to go into some big introduction about who Clay Helton is. Now, Alicia from Reign of Troy actually shared a Georgia Southern podcast she found over on Twitter. And I went and listened to it. And if you listen to how the guys are describing their team, it's a splitting image of what we dealt with at USC. It's all so familiar. They talk about how they've regressed every single year under Helton, how the special teams has gradually eroded, how they're just getting destroyed on both of their lines. Just extremely similar to what we dealt with at SC. And look, I would love for you guys to be super excited about this game, and I would love to tell you that it's a massive one, and it's going to be really entertaining, and all of this stuff. But I'm also not here to bullshit you. It's hard to sell this one, I'll be honest. The matchups are not in Georgia Southern's favor any way you look at it. What they really struggle with, we do very well. The talent gap is huge. The coaching gap is huge. So yeah, we will dive in here and meet the offense, but please do keep in mind that it's not going to be nearly as in-depth as it's going to be in future bigger games. But in meeting the Eagle offense, we'll start with the quarterback, J.C. French IV. Last week against Fresno State, he went 17 of 28 for 158, 2 touchdowns and 1 pick. PFF-wise, he had a 72.4 overall offensive grade, a 77.1 passing grade. He had an average depth of target at 7.7, with an adjusted completion percentage of 73%. So in watching JC, this is a guy that is an experienced player. He has a lot of starts under his belt, and he's always had something of a turnover problem. And just in that last game against Fresno, he hasn't really cleaned that up. So the opportunities are going to be there for interceptions, for strip sacks. And with the way the Eagle offensive line struggled against Fresno State, I think we should definitely be aiming for 5 or more sacks, just like we got against Missouri State. Now, scheme-wise with this offense, this is going to be a very heavy RPO system. Pretty much every single play has an RPO attached to it. And when they run the ball, it is going to be between the tackles. This is a power run scheme. They'll use multiple H-backs and really try to utilize numbers in their run game. Now, some names to know. Wide receiver Camden Brown is a transfer from Auburn. He's a 6'2", 200-pound senior. Played a lot of games for Auburn last year. I think started like 6 or 7 of them. So he's a very talented kid. Josh Dallas is a 6'1", 205 redshirt junior that they really like to go to in the pass game, especially across the middle. He has the best hands on the team, the best route running on the team, and he's someone that they will look to go to in the red zone as well. 6'4", 230-pound tight end River Helms is also a very big target in this Eagle passing attack. He can move pretty well for a big guy, so look for him to get targeted as well. But another really interesting X factor for this Georgia Southern offense, it's going to be true freshman quarterback Weston Bryan. Now, Weston is 6'3", 250 pounds. He's a high school wrestling champion, very physical guy, very big. If you watched Kansas State back in the day with Optimus Klein, or if you watched Oklahoma with the Belldozer, very similar system here. They're going to give the ball to him, let him run QB power, and he's pretty effective at it. I do think with the way we should be able to get penetration, I don't know how effective it'll be against us. But keep your eyes open for when they bring in that big battering ram. Now, defensively, scheme-wise, this is a base 4-2-5. It's very similar to Lynn's scheme in that they'll alternate 4- and 5-man fronts. But the big problem they're going to have against us is that they're going to have to commit to either stopping the run or stopping the pass because they can't do both. So are they going to come out in that 5-man front and sacrifice on the back end? Or are they just going to sacrifice, yeah, you're going to run the ball on us, but you're not going to hit us over the head with anything deep? And are they going to come out and dime? Either way, they're kind of screwed in my opinion. They just don't have the personnel to match up. So they're going to have to overcommit to one thing. And that's going to leave them extremely vulnerable everywhere else. Now, they could come out and just play their base defense and be conservative, but then we're just going to torch them everywhere on the field. At least if they come out and play dime, we might just have to take the underneath stuff and it'll be a slow death instead of a quick one. The most noticeable thing, though, watching that Fresno State game, this Georgia Southern front seven is bad. They're soft, they get pushed around, not the best effort in the world. And yeah, we should be able to pick our number of rushing yards in this game. They were really bad tacklers as well when they did get their hands on people. So Wayman Jordan, Brian Jackson, Eli Sanders, King Miller, it's going to be an absolute field day out there. But I'm not going to BS you. There's not really any names to know. You guys know in general what they're going to do now. And I feel like that's good enough for this game, so we're just going to leave it at that. So let's head over to G's keys, and then we'll get into the score prediction. So G's keys on offense, number one is keep it clean. No penalties, no turnovers. Very clean and smooth operation. And that keeps up when Hassan Longstreet enters the game. No fumbles this week. I don't want to see any balls on the ground. Absolutely no interceptions. Let's go in and handle our business like a professional outfit. Key number two, run, run, run. Very simple. Pound the ball. This front cannot stop us. They won't stop us. Do not relent running the ball until the game is over. Now, moving over to the defense, key number one is linebacker improvement. Now, I was very underwhelmed by all of the linebackers outside of Matai Tagovailoa. So let's see better play from Desmond Stevens, from Eric Gentry, from Jaden Walker, and from Tamir Robinson. Want to see those guys show out and have a big performance after last week. And key number two, and this kind of goes for the whole team, stay healthy. We're not the deepest team in the world outside of a position like defensive back, like safety. So absolutely praying to the football gods for a clean bill of health coming out of this one. All right, those were G's keys. Now let's get into the score prediction. So currently, USC is a 28.5-point favorite over the Georgia Southern Eagles. My score prediction is going to be 56-6. I think we can name our score in this one. I don't think Lincoln Riley's going to run it up on Clay. I mean, we kind of inadvertently ran it up last week. Like, that wasn't our goal. When you have a walk-on running back housing a 75-yard run, there's not much you can really do in terms of sportsmanship. But yeah, I'll be on the conservative side. I'll say 56-6. And I obviously do have us covering that line big time. So guys, of course, please do let me know your score predictions down below. If you have any bold predictions for the game, leave those down below as well. Again, I know it's not the most interesting game preview. I certainly didn't dive in as deep as I'm going to for Purdue and other Big Ten opponents. But hopefully you got something out of it. And if you did, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Really appreciate you guys being here. You're all awesome. And as always, take care and fight on. Beat the Eagles.